Let me tell you about a woman who had it all. Mayor of a beautiful city, married to a millionaire, respected by everyone who knew her name. Now picture that same woman, years later, hunched over a video poker machine at 3 a.m., her fingers mechanically pressing buttons, her once sharp eyes dulled by exhaustion and alcohol.
Maureen O'Connor was a beloved former mayor of San Diego, but O'Connor's life took a stunning turn after it was revealed that she gambled away a fortune.
Prosecutors believe she won and lost more than $1 billion playing video poker. O'Connor said,
"This isn't just another sad story about someone who gambled away their fortune. This is about Maureen O'Connor, San Diego's first female mayor, political powerhouse, philanthropist, and how the casinos saw her coming from a mile away. And if it could happen to her, Huayim Srikes, one of the smartest, most disciplined people to ever run a major American city, then honey, it could happen to anyone." So who was Maureen O'Connor before she became a cautionary tale? For starters, she wasn't born with a silver spoon in her mouth, more like a plastic fork from a fast food joint, one of 13 kids raised by a part-time bookie father. Yeah, irony can be pretty cruel sometimes. Her family was so broke that one Thanksgiving, they molded hamburger meat into the shape of a bird because they couldn't afford the real thing. I'm not even kidding. After college, she became a gym teacher at a Catholic school. Just another 20-something trying to figure out life. Then came the day that changed everything. She brought her students to a city council meeting, watching as fat politicians dismissed these kids like they were nothing. Something snapped in Maureen that day, so what did she do? She ran for city council herself. In 1971, at just 25 years old, when most of us are still figuring out how to do laundry properly, she won. Became one of the youngest council members in San Diego history. During her campaign, she caught the eye of Robert Peterson, the founder of Jack in the Box. You know, the fast food chain with the creepy clown? Yeah, that one. He was a Republican millionaire, 30 years older than her, with a soft spot for liberal causes and, apparently, fiery young politicians. They got married in 1977, the gym teacher and the Burger King. It was like a fairy tale, the kind where the princess doesn't wait around to be rescued but goes out and builds her own damn kingdom. By 1986, that kingdom had expanded. O'Connor crushed the competition to become San Diego's first female mayor. And she wasn't some figurehead either. This woman got things done. She disguised herself as a homeless person, slept on the streets, ate at shelters just to understand what it was really like. She worked on a garbage truck for a day, even went undercover with the police chief interviewing prostitutes to solve a string of murders. For the folks south of Interstate 8, that invisible line dividing rich San Diego from working class San Diego, she wasn't Mayor O'Connor, she was just Maureen. Their Maureen. Then, in 1994, Robert Peterson died after a long battle with leukemia. They had no children, just each other. O'Connor's millionaire husband left her with an estimated fortune of $40 to $50 million. And now, just her, alone in that big La Jolla house with about $50 million and a heart that felt emptier than her bank account was full. Grief does funny things to people. Some throw themselves into work, some into the bottle. Maureen, she found the flashing lights and constant stimulation of video poker machines, the perfect place to not think about the person who wasn't sitting next to her anymore. It started innocently enough around the year 2000, just a distraction, a night out. But here's what most people don't understand about modern casinos. They're not gambling halls, they're laboratories. Psychology experiments running 24/7, designed with a single purpose to separate you from your money in the most efficient way possible. And those video poker machines, they're the creme de la creme of addiction engineering. Every almost one moment, every near miss, every little win that keeps you playing through the big losses, that's not accidental. That's by design. What started as occasional visits soon became daily marathons. Casino staff allegedly kept her comfortable, bringing drinks, meals, anything to keep her at the machine. Records would later show that O'Connor would need to bet an average of $300,000 every day to reach the billion-dollar wagering total she accumulated over 9 years. To put that into context, that's like buying a brand new, fully spec'd Ferrari every single day. In order to keep up, she first started selling her liquid assets. Then her jewelry and personal effects were auctioned, properties sold, second and third mortgages were taken on her La Jolla home. She approached friends for loans. The fortune that Robert Peterson had spent a lifetime building vanished in less than a decade. In 2005, she sold her stunning Heritage House Resort in Mendocino County for $19.5 million. That kind of cash could set most people up for several lifetimes of comfort. For Maureen, it bought her about 4 more years at the tables. By this point, Las Vegas casinos were sending private jets to bring her from San Diego. Think about that for a second. When a business is willing to send a private jet for you, it's not because they like your personality, it's because they're confident they'll make back that jet fuel money, and then some more. By 2008, the situation had gone from bad to desperate. The personal fortune was nearly gone. She had contacted most of her friends for loans. With nowhere else to turn, O'Connor made a fateful decision, a decision that would eventually land her in federal court. As trustee of her late husband's RP Foundation, she had access to the charity's funds, money meant for organizations like the Alzheimer's Association and San Diego Hospice.
I used some of that fortune to help people, and then some of that fortune, when I started to become Maureen too, went into an addiction of gambling.
You lost it.
Yes, I lost a fortune. And for that, I'm sorry.
Her game of choice?
Between 2008 and 2009, she transferred $2,088,000 from the foundation to her personal accounts, listing them as loans she intended to repay. This desperate act emptied the foundation completely, leaving it bankrupt. The problem? That's not how charitable foundations work, and it's definitely not how the IRS sees things.
I did borrow the money from my husband's foundation.
That's why she landed in court. Over $2 million taken from a charity set up by her late husband. She'd already remortgaged her home, sold a hotel, auctioned her possessions, apparently spent her last dime. Peterson died in '94.
Industry insiders allege that casinos specifically design experiences for whales, high-rolling gamblers like O'Connor, to keep them playing despite mounting losses. Free accommodations, food, alcohol, and constant affirmation create a cocoon that disconnects players from financial reality. Records would later show a win of $100,000 at Barona Casino in San Diego County, a drop in the bucket compared to her losses, and that's the cruel math of gambling addiction. You remember every win in Technicolor detail. The losses, they blur together like a bad dream you can't quite recall. In 2011, O'Connor's physical health collapsed. Doctors discovered a brain tumor requiring immediate surgery.
I didn't know I had the silent grenade in my head that could go off at any time.
The silent grenade was a golf ball-sized tumor doctors removed from her brain. They discovered it 2 years ago when she started hallucinating. She says she believes the slow-growing tumor contributed to her gambling addiction.
The operation left her with physical impairments and memory issues. Her attorneys would later argue that this tumor may have contributed to her impaired decision-making in the preceding years. The operation saved her life, but left her with physical impairments, memory issues, and cognitive struggles. Her attorneys would later argue that this tumor may have affected her decision-making for years before its discovery. Maybe the gambling wasn't just addiction, maybe it was a symptom of something physically wrong in her brain. She moved in with her twin sister, Maureen, withdrawing from public life almost completely. Some former friends, people who had known her for decades, couldn't reach her. The woman who once walked through San Diego neighborhoods greeting people by name now couldn't even return a phone call. The mighty had fallen, and they'd fallen hard. The end came when the Internal Revenue Service flagged suspicious transfers, $100,000 checks written to casinos. An investigation revealed the foundation's emptied accounts and the trail of misappropriated funds. On February 14, 2013, Maureen O'Connor entered federal court leaning on a cane, visibly distraught. Prosecutors charged her with money laundering, which could have resulted in a 10-year prison sentence and $250,000 fine. In a deal with prosecutors, O'Connor pleaded not guilty but acknowledged her guilt. The agreement deferred prosecution for 2 years, requiring her to repay the $2,088,000 to the foundation, seek treatment for gambling addiction, and pay back taxes. If she fulfilled these obligations, charges would be dismissed.
And only after all that was done did she then go and raid a private foundation of over $2 million.
She took the money from her husband's charity. She called it a loan to be paid back. Federal prosecutor Philip Halpern called it money laundering and says she won and lost a staggering amount.
We're talking about billions with a B. It's not against the law to bankrupt yourself. The violation was that she raided that charity of $2 million.
For O'Connor, now penniless, it's a public humiliation.
That I never meant to hurt the city.
In an emotional press conference afterward, she introduced a concept that would resonate with anyone who's ever battled addiction: the idea that she had become two different people. The tumor defense raised eyebrows among some, but neurologists have long documented how brain tumors can dramatically alter personality and decision-making.
In the centers of the brain that affect and control logic, reasoning, and most importantly, judgment.
Was it the whole explanation? Probably not, but was it part of this perfect storm that destroyed one woman's life? Definitely possible. Unlike table poker, where skill matters, video poker machines give players just enough control to feel like they're making meaningful choices, but make no mistake, over time, the house edge is mathematical certainty. You cannot beat these machines long term. Not even if you're a mathematical genius. Not even if you're the former mayor of San Diego. Where is she now? Today, Maureen O'Connor lives quietly with her twin sister in La Jolla. As always, remember to be stingy when gambling because, as Maureen O'Connor discovered the hard way when the casino rolls out the red carpet, it's not because they plan on losing.
I used to tell everybody it was the Hope Mobile going to the casino, and it was the Broke Mobile coming home. I call it the Blue Nowhere.
New Blue Nowhere.
You just get in there and you stay there. And you stay there to basically till the money's gone.
Which you did.
Yes, I did. I'm not proud of it, but I did.
How much would you lose in a day?
I could lose more than 100,000 in a day.
In one day?
Yes.